I'd like to refer to that cat-like dinosaur that I was speaking of back in a video when I took the pictures inside of the barn, and when I was talking about being in my dark room, and when I'd go in that barn at nighttime, there'd be creatures and they look like, well, cats, but dinosaurs. Here's an artist rendition of what I'm talking about. What I wanted to point out, hopefully you can see it, I not only have an artist rendition of this cat-like dinosaur, but I actually have a photograph of it too, and I'd like to share that right here. If you look at the picture, the image of the gray alien being and all the other ones hovering in the back of the barn in the hallway, if you look at it closely in the image, if you could look down to the bottom right hand corner, you will note that there's a creature staring right at the camera, and that creature or that being is exactly what those cat-like dinosaurs look like that used to hang in the barn. I'm going to give you a minute to look at this because I find it very interesting, because it's dawned on me many times that that is the creature, but sometimes people can't see them in these pictures. But when I show you the image of the artist rendition and then show you that picture in the blue alien there, and that was captured when I had 10 seconds of missing time that day on the camera properties, while looking at that picture you will realize it actually is very reminiscent of the artist rendition of the cat-like dinosaur that was in the barn. Also, in the image of the bright glowing orangish orb above the hallway there across from my school science project, when you look at it closely, that alien being in the bottom right hand side of that orb, if you examine it closely, it also resembles the cat-like dinosaur. So they're obviously a being is what they are, and as a kid I mistakenly took them for cats, some sort of cat type of creature, not knowing what they were. They never bothered me, they never disturbed me. They used to just watch me, they were observing what I'm doing, and they never did anything to me that I remember, but that doesn't mean they didn't. They could have. I know that I've had a lot of things happen in my time with a lot of missing time, and I know that when things happen, sometimes you don't really remember them right away, but I do definitely remember that face of that being, the one that climb up, put the poles in the barn and sit up in the top of the rafters and used its tail to climb. Both of those images, the one in the blue alien on the bottom right hand corner of that image, and the one of the orb above the science project, a little to the center left, they both have images of this creature or being that I'm speaking of. At this point, I'd like to bring up one other issue that's related to these cat-like dinosaurs that I've been related with, or, well, close with in this barn. I treated them no different than I would have treated cats, and I love cats. Okay, well, my brother Rich, he's 2 years, 9 months older than me, and he decided he wanted to build a bedroom in the other barn. There's two barns in the property, and the other barn is right next to the barn that I used to hang in. And this is a picture of that barn where he built a room in there because he didn't want to sleep with his parents in the house anymore. He wanted his own place. He's getting older. So he converted one of the stalls into like a bedroom in there for him to sleep, put his bed in there and everything else. And his very first night, after he was all done fixing it up and everything else, he went out there and he went to bed, and must have been about 2, 3 in the morning. He came flying in with nothing, no blankets, no nothing. He just came flying in. He says, "I'm moving back in here." And I go, "Why?" I said, "I finally got the bedroom alone. Why are you here?" And he goes, "I'm moving back in here, Mike. That's all there is to it." And I go, "Why?" He says, "I don't even want to talk about it." So the very next day, I asked him, "Why the heck are you moving back in the house?" I said, "It was good. You had your own bedroom out there. We both had our own bedroom. Why did you come back in the house?" He said, "There's something out in that barn." I go, "Yeah." I said, "I know there's something out in that barn." He says, "Weird creatures." I said, "They're cats." I said, "I know exactly what you're talking about. They're cats." He goes, "Those aren't cats." And I said, "They're cats, Rich. I don't know what else to say to you. They're cats." And he says, "They are not cats." And what I realized what he's referring to are what I considered the cat-like dinosaurs, because he obviously saw the same thing. It scared the hell out of him, too. This cat-like dinosaur mix DNA project brings us to a new bit of information that none of us have really thought about before. the dinosaurs, maybe they aren't extinct. Maybe you see remnants of dinosaurs, of course, because they die and they're preserved. But maybe perhaps that they aren't extinct and they've evolved. And that's what happened through, well, altering their DNA and making them survive and letting them relive. Very interesting concept. So they may be still around, just advanced now and not so primitive as you may think they are. Maybe they just don't exist on Earth anymore. They could be in other worlds. They could be in other planets, other realms. We don't know. Nobody has any proof of what's happened to them. It's all theory and conjecture. And this, too, is theory and conjecture that they possibly are in other realms, other worlds. However, this theory and conjecture is being supported by these orbs with these type of beings inside of there. So either their DNA is still alive or they're still alive. But whatever the case, they still exist one way or the other.